When you step into the top seat at the New York City Department of Education, you have to be ready to serve the nation's largest school district, everybody, right? So let's talk about this right now and talk about the numbers. There are 1.1 million students, over 1,800 schools, approximately 135,000 employees, Betty.
Oh yes, and our guest has almost 2 weeks under his belt as New York City Schools Chancellor. So please welcome Chancellor Richard Carranza. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Happy to have you.
Well, we share a little bit of a background being I'm from Texas. You worked in the Houston area, so you have a lot of that experience. I've worked in many different areas, but let's just kind of go down through the list of some of the things that you have done. Born in Arizona, right?
Right.
You have a master's in education, worked for 4 school districts, worked in Houston, as I mentioned, during Hurricane Harvey. Believe all students should be multilingual. So when you've come here as an educator, right, and you're looking at this system, what do you see as its main priorities?
Well, the main priority is just making sure that every student in every borough and every neighborhood has just a high quality education, a good opportunity for a high quality education. And, you know, many of those characteristics that you've mentioned are already on display right here in New York City, one of the most diverse cities in the world, largest city in America. So it's just an exciting place to be a student.
Look, you hit the ground running as soon as you got here. You started visiting schools. So you heard from the teachers, the parents, the students themselves. What are you hearing are some concerns from those that you need to address right away?
Well, I'm hearing a lot of really good things, too. People are telling me a lot of things that they really like. They really like the fine arts. They really like the choices that they have for schools. They really enjoy the different kinds of learning opportunities they have where it's beyond the classroom. But from students so far, number one, give us better food.
Oh, really?
Number one, yeah. And parents, I've heard across the board from parents that, and it may be contextual within, you know, the national situation, but people are worried about school safety and they want to just be reassured. What are the safety measures? How are we looking at this? So it's been good to have that conversation with parents.
Well, a lot of people want to know, too, what are your plans? You know, you've been here for a very short amount of time, but to really fix some of the major problems that they're facing. Have you had time to really absorb that and develop a plan?
Well, 24/7, I'm being briefed. It's a big organization. You showed the statistics, but so I'm being briefed on a daily basis, and I'm really starting to look under the hood and figure out, so why have we done what we've done? What's the current situation, and what are the next steps? The good news is that, you know, New York City's public schools are actually doing some really good work and have been doing some great work now for a while. So that's really good news. I think the next steps for me are going to be, how do we make this system-wide? How do we improve system-wide? How do we get better options for students? How do we make sure that parents, students, and the community know what it is that every New York City graduate is going to be able to know, do, and demonstrate? I think that's the next step for us.
Okay, good. And we also put the question out to our viewers because they're the ones
great.
who are going to be having their children in school. So let's get to the first one right now from C. Jones 420. Will you be getting rid of Common Core?
Well, it's a state decision. So the state has adopted Common Core, as have many other states across the country. I know that there's discussions about transitioning to the next generation standards, which pick up some of the Common Core, but actually go a little bit more rigorous in some of the areas. So there will be a transition, but again, that process is driven by the state of New York and the regents, and we'll have a big voice in that.
All right, here's another question from a viewer. Are we going to get more after-school programs and tutoring for kids who need extra help? I think a lot of families are interested in that.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, Mayor de Blasio has talked about education being one of the fundamental planks in the city's platform for improving lives for all New Yorkers. That's also part of our excellence and equity work, right? So we want to make sure that students have a strong academic program, but they also have a way to enrich what they do. And that means before school and after school. We talk a lot about community schools and a community schools approach. That's also part of a community schools approach. You know, opening the community, opening up enrichment activities, bringing in community-based organizations, arts organizations, physical activities. So you're going to see lots of conversations at the school site level about what we're trying to do to differentiate but enrich the experiences for our students.
And look, you're a suit and tie guy, right? He sounds very serious. It's very important what he's doing, but I do want to talk about your fun side for a second. And I want to actually open it up and show our viewers
done some digging.
A little bit of what we pulled from the archive. Take a look. So a mariachi musician, are you going to be bringing some of that to the schools?
Well, you know, By the way, you do good work.
We almost had a mariachi band in here to welcome you.
Look, it's, you know, I'll tell you, if I get invited to sing, chances are I'm going to sing. If I get invited to play, chances are I'm going to play. If I don't get invited to sing or play, chances are I'm going to sing and play.
We're going to make,
It's who I am.
we'll make sure you get invited.
Yeah, let's get the instruments out. Let's party.
Start the party early. It's
We're
Friday.
going to hold you to that. So next time
Absolutely.
you come on.
I'll bring a guitar.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
I'll
it.
bring a piano. I'll just bring on the subway.
I'll just be a backup dancer. How about that? All right, Chancellor, thanks so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
And
you
welcome.
coming in.
Thank you so much.